So we're sitting here with Wayne Gerdes. You've just finished up the 1,000-mile on one tank of gas challenge for the Ford Fusion Hybrid.
Uh-huh.
And I guess first off, how was your experience?
Well, I got to say that when Ford first called me about this, I remember talking to some of the engineers, and I asked them, have any of you been over 60 miles per gallon in the Ford Fusion Hybrid? And the reply I got was kind of like a phone hanging up. Nobody had ever heard of that before. And I said, well, let's bring a Milan or a Fusion Hybrid, and I'll see what we can do with it. And I come up with some techniques that worked, and then I trained some of the drivers that are here today, and they just are knocking it out of the park. As far as what happened today, as you probably know, Carl Edwards was here today, and he was fortunate to be the driver at the point that we crossed over 1,000 miles. I was fortunate enough to be in the back seat to watch it, but any vehicle to go over 1,000 miles on a single tank, it's not very often that it happens. And when it does, especially in a vehicle that's never done it before, no one would ever expect it to happen. It was exciting. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. It's really an excellent vehicle. Of course, you know all about the 2010 Fusion Hybrid, capability of 41 mpg city. We're knocking out 81 miles per gallon in the thing, and that may be a little low of actual.
Really?
Yeah.
You're known for a number of different techniques of windows up, no radio, no air conditioning, no fans, no cracked windows. Did you go with all of those in this test?
Well, we're using a lot of the techniques, and what I do is I try to keep people comfortable, but our main goal is fuel economy. We're going to show the world what the Fusion Hybrid can do. We're raising money for the JDRF, the Diabetes Foundation, and 3, we're promoting a vehicle that a lot more people should not only know about, but they should own. And by using some of those techniques that you just described, it's proving its worth, as you can tell out in the course today.
And you're known for have driven a number of other hybrid type vehicles, the Prius and the Insight, the original Insight, and getting 100+ miles a gallon. Those cars, though, are much more stripped down as far as a comfort factor, where this feels more like, or am I wrong, and this feels like more like a normal...
You are 100% correct. This is a full mid-size sedan. It's comfortable front, rear, true room for 5. Not only that, but it's got all the latest amenities. Power windows, locks, doors, mirrors are kind of standard. All the airbags, all the safety equipment, all the traction control, stuff like that. Stability control. That's like a standard mid-size sedan, what every vehicle should have today. Well, the Fusion Hybrid has that, plus a hybrid drivetrain that offers 41+ miles per gallon for the average driver. A few techniques thrown in, you're getting 60 without even breathing hard.
On your loop, I got 52.7.
And what were you driving?
With the air conditioning on,
Yeah.
with the Fusion.
Yeah, see, and that's with AC.
Yeah.
And if we have time, maybe we can go out on a clinic and I'll show you what we're actually doing. I haven't seen a clinic yet that hasn't touched 65, and the highest clinic was basically Carl's in his real world, and he hit 81. So
really,
yeah, you can't beat that.
Was it interesting with Carl, seeing as how he's coming off of driving Sunday at 200 miles an hour at Talladega, and then you're coaching him, or is a lot of the same techniques that are successful for racing transferred to this type of driving?
Well, fortunately, in Carl's case, he's got 2 things going for him. He is the most fuel-efficient NASCAR driver on the circuit. Number 2, he actually purchased out of his own pocket a 2010 Ford Fusion Hybrid, so he has some experience there. He wasn't experienced for what we were going to shove him through, but not only did he pick it up, he picked it up faster as a professional race car driver for the street than any of my other clinics that I've given the past 2 days.
What was the average speed, do you know, that you were driving in that loop?
We were probably around 24, 25, about 5 to 6 under what everybody else was doing.
Okay.
And that was in heavy traffic up around Mount Vernon, heavy traffic around Alexandria, and then everything in between is speed limits from 25 to 45 miles an hour.
And you didn't really much go over 45, or did you even get to 45?
There's one section where we approach 45 miles per hour, and at that point, I have him pull it back a little bit so he doesn't go over the speed limit.
Gotcha. How much daytime versus nighttime driving did you personally do?
Well, it's tough on everybody right now. There's 5 guys rotating every 2 hours, so we're all getting maybe 1 or 2 daytime slots, 1 or 2 nighttime slots. Nighttime, as you know, our numbers are falling during the night. It's lights. The gasoline has to power the electricity to power the lights.
Okay.
It's cooler temps, which increase rolling resistance and aerodynamic drag. And number 3, we can't tell what's up ahead where our normal glide points are. It might be technical, but things are missing at night, and we're doing all we can, but it's tiring.
You said you didn't use the AC.
No AC.
Average temps here in DC, what were they throughout the drive? Do you know?
Well, right now in the middle of the night, we're seeing 65 to 70 in the middle of the night, and in the day we're seeing highs of up to 93 degrees.
That had to be pretty toasty then.
We have techniques to take care of that, though. I'm having all the guys do a cross window ventilation check, and what they're doing is they're lowering their driver's side window just about an inch, and then the passenger rear side about an inch.
Okay.
And there's just enough cross flow, yet it doesn't ruin the aerodynamics of the vehicle to begin with.
Okay. One of the questions that I was asked to ask you is, what techniques do you employ to help battery range?
What we're doing is we're managing state of charge, which is battery, and we're actually trying not to use the battery as much as you'd think you would in a hybrid. What a battery's for is for the stop and crawl when we get into Mount Vernon and the stoplights and things, and we're using it for that. Gentle accelerations when you're on that battery. And when you see state of charge low, that means you get the engine fired up and bring it back to its normal state.
And you didn't do any key off stuff, correct?
Nope. Fortunately, the Ford Fusion Hybrid, it's all built in, so we don't have to do anything. And that's the magic of a hybrid drivetrain. And of course, as you've seen, the Ford team did a great job on that.
One of the big things with this car, obviously, is the dashboard. It's very different than we've seen. Is that kind of key in helping you really optimize what you're doing and your driving?
Yes, it is. Ford's Smart Gauge with Echo Guide is one of the best feedback displays available. Not only, I will say it's the most beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, but it's also one of the best for feedback, for providing somebody tips or techniques and feedback to improve their fuel economy, no matter what kind of traffic condition they are in the Ford Fusion Hybrid.
Shoes on or shoes off?
Shoes off for me.
I heard that you liked it.
Yep.
I heard that you liked it.
You got that right.
Yep. If there were 3 techniques that you could tell everyone, whether they drive a hybrid or not, that would go a long way to improving their mileage in their car, what would they be?
Set up the vehicle, make sure that you proper air pressures, good synthetic fluid on your next oil change, remove the junk in the trunk. That's basic setup. Install a scan gauge. If you don't have a fuel consumption display, you're done. That right there give you 20% savings at the pump. Go into the techniques. You ready?
Yep. Oh, I was going to say, you brought up something I forgot to ask. Were the tires inflated to standard pressure, or did you increase that for the 1,000 mile?
For this one, we're just below max sidewall, so we're within. If it were mine, I would be running a lot higher. But in this case, we wanted to stay within the Ford specifications.
Sure.
So we're between 40 and 44 pounds right now in all the tires.
And junk in the trunk, was it all?
It's all removed. No
All
junk.
removed? Okay.
It's clear.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead with your other
Yeah.
techniques.
One of the most fuel-saving techniques we can do is follow the speed limit, and while doing so, make sure that you're in the right-hand lane, not trying to impede others. Because if you impede others and you create having them burn more fuel, you wasted the whole lot. In heavy traffic, create open buffers so that if they move 10 feet, how about if you let them move 10 feet, you sit there. They move another 10 feet, you move 20 feet. Just one shot instead of 2, and you keep doing that in heavy traffic, even in DC. Your numbers are going to definitely improve. There's people out there getting 3-4 miles per gallon. We're getting 80. Practice is proof of purchase, and we're certainly proving its point today.
Sure. There are a lot of guys like Skip Barber, Bob Bondurant, who teach high-performance driving. Have you thought of starting your own school to teach high MPG driving?
Well, I probably should. It's a moneymaker I need to look at, but right now I do clinics basically for free. And the reason why is because of my passion being 9/11 and our foreign oil dependence. If I can train a driver to save fuel today, it's a lesson for a lifetime. He'll be saving fuel forever, and it's important that he get that message, he or she get that message. And I've had some great journalists that have picked this up, and they're continuing to use the techniques today.
Wayne, thanks for your time.
Oh,
and,
thank you very much.
Congratulations on the adventure.
Oh, you have to thank Ford for that, and I want to thank them for inviting me to this, because I'm just a guy out there like everybody else, and you get invited to something like this, I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Wayne.
Oh, thank you.